the station that's on your side. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
After their child suddenly dies from a rare infection, two parents are finding purpose through their pain.
That I have a push to make people aware of something that I was not aware of.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to tell you how Megan Ebenroth's family is keeping her name alive. Plus, two local teams that both won their first two games. They're getting ready to face off tonight. We have Alyssa Lyons standing by with our Under the Lights game of the week. But first, you might be heading out the door for one of these football games. You may be heading out the door for Labor Day plans. You could hit traffic. There are record numbers expected to hit the road this week. But Riley, whatever you're doing, if it's anywhere in the vicinity, it's going to be great weather for it.
Absolutely, Laura. Gorgeous conditions out there today, and it's only going to get nicer heading into our holiday weekend. So anyone heading out to high school football games, maybe SRP Park tonight, comfortable temps. We should actually be in the 70s around game time for those high school football games. Earlier today, we did top out into the mid-80s, and it was feeling like the mid-80s. Luckily, we got rid of that humidity this afternoon. So heading out to high school football tonight, we are looking at kickoff temps to be in the mid-70s. Later through game time, though, by the second half, I'd imagine most spots are getting into the 60s with just a few passing clouds overhead. So nice and comfortable out there through this evening. As I mentioned, maybe you're heading out to SRP Park. Here's a live look at it. They got the Salem Red Sox tonight. First pitch at 7:05 there. And currently in North Augusta, 83 degrees and just a nice east-southeast wind between 5 to 10. The SRP Park forecast looks just as good. We'll see most likely temperatures in the mid-70s around game time and then falling into the 60s. Braves BuzzFest feature Friday, so some good food deals out there. Heading into tonight, we'll also have a near full moon, so look up just after around 9:30. You should be able to see this. Still shining nice and bright tonight. Have a look at the rest of the holiday weekend for you in just about 10 minutes.
Tonight, the Butler High School community will honor the life of a 15-year-old who was murdered back in April. Family says Zaire Pearson was a scholar and a student athlete on Butler's football team. There's a balloon release for Zaire right before kickoff at tonight's game as the family prays for answers. Zaire was at a splat party when he was shot and killed on Old McDuffie Road, and no suspects have been named to this day. Our Audrey Dickerber joins us live from Butler High School. And Audrey, it's definitely going to be an emotional time with Zaire obviously missing from that kickoff tonight.
It is, Laura. This is Butler's first chance to honor Zaire since he was killed back in April. Their first game was canceled due to a fight that happened earlier in the week, and they weren't scheduled to play last week. The coach says they plan on retiring his number at the end of the season. The coach says he was a special student and athlete. They're hoping they can start the season off just like how Zaire left it. The coach tells me his players are more than just athletes to him. One of Zaire's friends says it feels like a piece of him is missing without Zaire on the field tonight.
I mean, it mean a lot to me, especially because he's not here right now. It's going to mean most definitely a lot too. It's really crazy because, like, you never know when you'll be gone. Like, you gotta live in the moment, you know. Stuff like that.
Kickoff is set for 7:30 tonight, and Zaire's family is asking for anyone with information to please come forward to the Sheriff's Department. I'll have more on what tonight means for the team and the family at 11.
Definitely a night that will be bigger than football. Thanks for sharing that with us, Audrey. Well, it is week 3 of Under the Lights and the battle of two 2-0 teams taking center stage tonight. We asked, and more than 200 of you voted for Silver Bluff versus Midland Valley as the game of the week. News 12 Sports Director Dan Booth joins us now to continue our Under the Lights coverage and help get us ready for our big game, Dan.
Throughout the first 2 weeks of the season, both Silver Bluff and Midland Valley have been impressive, to say the least, on both sides of the ball. So it makes all the sense in the world to shine a spotlight on a couple of teams who leave it out on the gridiron on every Friday night. News 12's Alyssa Lyons joins us live from Silver Bluff to help us get ready for a matchup that certainly has what it takes to live up to the hype.
Yeah, Dan, there's no better place to be than at the Bluff. As you can see, Midland Valley is starting to roll on in here for this matchup. It's something that everybody has been anticipating. I talked to head coach Brian, head coach Earl Chapman. They both said that the number of people that voted for this game, it wasn't shocking at all, considering all the storylines that are involved in this game. One of these teams will walk away a loser tonight, but that's just on the off chance. You know, hey, what they're really concerned about is that these two crosstown rivals know how to put on a show. Everyone In line for a ticket to the ground game, Trayvon Dunbar used to play at Silver Bluff before transferring to Midland Valley. And then Joe Nathan Peoples, who traded places in opposite fashion, he's now playing for Silver Bluff. Midland Valley is coming off their best season since 2015, so it's no wonder that everybody wants a ticket to this premiere. Coming up all new on News 12 at 11, I'll have the ins, the outs, and the score of this rivalry game for you.
Thank you, Alyssa. That game between Silver Bluff and Midland Valley is one of the many games that we'll be focusing on tonight. So stick around because our Under the Lights coverage continues in just a few minutes. Laura, back to you.
All right, thanks, Dan. The story of Megan Ebenroth was heard in homes nationwide. She was a Thompson High School student who passed after getting a rare infection from a brain-eating amoeba. Cases and symptoms associated with it are very rare, extremely uncommon. The only common denominator is victims caught after swimming in a freshwater pond. But only since 1962 have we had 5 cases here in Georgia. Megan is just the 6th after dealing with this hard news. Her parents are finding a new purpose from the pain, as our Sydney Hood reports.
It's quiet on the lake, but it's even more quiet here.
So I walk around the house and I just say her name and I just say I love you.
And no, I love you back.
I hate having to talk about her in the past tense, but I have a push to make people aware of something that I was not aware of.
Because if she would have known,
I think I would have done things differently, and I think she would have done things differently because she loved life.
a life taken by something so rare.
That the amoeba are quite prevalent, but the number of people who get infected is low, and we don't really understand why that's the case.
Dr. Dennis Kyle is working to find the answer.
We've been working on a diagnostic that we think could actually be used to detect amoeba infection much earlier than we have been doing.
Until then, awareness is key.
Nose clip, keeping your head above water. I can't tell you what a big difference that would have made in our lives. We wouldn't be stuck in this nightmare.
A nightmare she'll never wake from. In Thompson, Sydney Hood, on your side.
And Dr. Kyle says he is still in the early stages of getting a clinically approved test, but awareness is the one thing everyone can have right now. Again, this amoeba in fresh water, usually when those water temperatures rise, it's more prevalent. Days after Adalia, Valdosta still recovering from that storm. Now our local Red Cross is helping out. Next at 6 o'clock, we tell you how you can lend a helping hand too.
And we're looking at beautiful weather to continue through our holiday weekend and potentially seeing some of the lowest temperatures we've seen in months. We'll have a look at it just after the break. Temps do return. We should see the mid-90s by next Wednesday.
Local Red Cross volunteers have been helping out in South Georgia since Tuesday. It's been 2 days since Adalia hit Georgia, and they are still in the midst of some hard-hit areas trying to make some headway. This is pictures out of Valdosta, southwest Georgia. You can see giant trees that they are cleaning up, some on homes. And tonight, thousands are still without power down there, others looking for food and shelter. And as we speak, the Red Cross is bringing in even more assistance to that area, but they need help too. Our Hallie Turner joins us in the newsroom. So, Hallie, what are they facing right now?
Now, Lowndes County is seeing trees, power lines, and wind damage on just about every road. After 2 days, Red Cross volunteers say they can finally move around the city a little bit better, but it's revealing there are more people in need.
It really is a workaround, situation for right now.
Hurricane Idalia slammed into Valdosta.
When you can physically see rain going sideways rather than down, that's a strange experience.
Carving out a path of destruction.
There's tons of power lines down, trees down, houses with trees in them. It's just a disaster, literally a disaster.
By nightfall, Augusta Red Cross Executive Director Susan Everett says 95% of Lowndes County was without power. A little less than half still in the dark. With trees and power lines down on nearly every corner, it's hard to get to everyone right away.
I did talk to a lady just last night They said it was last night until trees were cut, so they were landlocked, within their neighborhood. And this is a neighborhood of about 300 houses because trees were on every road. No one could get in and no one could get out.
Everett says they are bringing in more crews with everything from food to cleaning supplies.
We have a shelter open here, but we also are bringing in 4 different fixed sites today because we know sometimes people don't want to go to a shelter, but they still need supplies.
Even with more crews, the county still needs more help, so she's calling on everyone watching right now.
One of them is to donate blood. The second one is provide a financial donation. A lot of people's homes are damaged, and they're going to need that additional financial assistance that we can provide to them.
Serving as a reminder, it's not just another disaster.
I think there is something called disaster fatigue, and people are like, oh, it's just another hurricane. To the people that are here on the ground, it is their life. We encourage people just to do whatever they can.
Susan says they were told it could be several more days before everyone has power again. She does expect for her stay to be extended to help those in need. And for more information on how you can help, you can go to our app or our website at wrdw.com. And Hallie, you mentioned the need for blood donations. Some centers down in Valdosta hit by the storm. They're not able to open, so you can give blood locally. They send those extra donations to help our neighbors, so a great time to do that. After the break, our Under the Lights coverage continues. We're diving into the matchups between Lakeside and North Augusta, as well as Westside taking on Screven County.
First alert. Wow. On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Whenever 2 of our big local high schools go head-to-head, it always sparks some fireworks. Tonight's game between Lakeside and North Augusta is no exception. News 12's Will Volk live from Lakeside. 2 brothers who spend a lot of time in the Panthers' backfield together, making the transition to their new offense a lot easier.
Yeah, Dan, the Grissom brothers share a special connection. They've actually been on the same team since 3rd grade. Well, now they're both in their junior year here at Lakeside, and this offense is growing around them.
When you play football, it can feel like your teammates become your brothers. But what's it like when your teammate is your actual brother?
Sometimes rough, going back and forth, making each other better, throughout the years. So it's been good just playing the game with him.
Mikal and Brandon Grissom have been playing this game together for half their lives. Now they share the backfield as starters in Lakeside's offense.
It's like I got to call a different play. I could just, tell him, do this, do that. It's easy because our connection so tight. It's good because say if I forget a play, I can ask him anything.
Assistant head coach Cedric Mason has known the Grissom brothers since they were in 7th grade. He says they're like thunder and lightning.
When they were middle school, they went down and won the middle school championship at Lakeside. I always knew that they were special. They were able to take over any game at any time.
The hope is they'll do that a lot this year as Lakeside switches to a spread offense to highlight some of the areas the Grissoms shine in.
On the speedy one, he the powerful one, it's a good combination. You can't really do nothing with it.
In Evans, Will Volk, on your side.
And back now here live at Lakeside High School, you can see the team starting to get on the field. We're getting a little closer to kickoff. Lakeside is coming off of a bye week. The brothers think the team is moving in the right direction, and they're excited home fans for the first time this season tonight. We will have highlights from this game tonight at 11.
We'll be keeping a very close eye on tonight's game between Lakeside and North Augusta for sure. Will, thank you as always. Back here in Augusta, Westside is looking for their first win on the season tonight on their brand new turf field when they take on Screven County. News 12's Nick Veland has the latest on the Patriots as a season that's been anything but normal rages on.
Well, fans are slowly making their way into the stadium for tonight's game at Westside, and the Patriots are 0-2 to start the season, and their coach says that the team is young and learning week after week so that when region play comes and when it counts, they'll be ready. Westside fell to Hepzibah and Aquinas so far, and this season it's been the factors off the field making the biggest difference. School safety was a priority week 1 with games canceled and moved in Richmond County. Heat moved game times back in week 2. And this week, tropical storms limited practice and preparation on Wednesday. Westside's head coach says that the distractions are manageable, but he's needed to keep players locked in from week to week.
Our coaches have done a great job of eliminating those distractions and just keeping our kids focused on what matters at the time, and that's football. That's our preparation in the weight room, our preparation on the grass, and then, of course, putting us in a position to be successful on Friday.
Screven County comes to town after taking in some of the worst damage from the storms this week, and hear how they're weathering the storm inside the locker room, plus highlights from tonight's game, all new tonight at 11.
Thank you, Nick. Both Westside and Screven County have a boatload of young talent, and I'm excited to watch the full story later on this evening. Now let's take a live look above Butler High School. After not playing in for the first 2 weeks, the Bulldogs are kicking off their season tonight in front of their home fans. Butler just barely missed the playoffs in 2022, and their first test this time around is Kip Atlanta Collegiate. Make sure to tune in tonight at 11 for the newest edition of Under the Lights. As always, you can find all of our Under the Lights content from our stories, the highlights, and the top 5 plays of the week, and everything else in between on our website and all of our streaming apps. Shifting gears to college football, the 2-time defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs are less than 24 hours away from kicking off their season against UT Martin. According to the AP poll, UGA is still the top team in the nation. The Dogs begin their pursuit of a three-peat tomorrow night at 6 o'clock in Athens, and you can bet we'll have coverage throughout the night. The South Carolina Gamecocks will be in Charlotte kicking off their new campaign in prime time against the North Carolina Tar Heels. With the whole world watching, this is a great opportunity for the Gamecocks to prove that they should be ranked after missing out on the top 25 AP poll. College Game Day will be in attendance, and I'll be in Charlotte as well with coverage you can count on.
All right, thanks for that, Dan. Looking great for tailgating across the region through this weekend. Maybe you're hitting the canal or the river, putting the kayak in the water. Great conditions for that. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon should stay in the 80s. Now look at that 7-day forecast just after the break. Live look over SRP Park. We're getting closer and closer to game time there on the Savannah River. Looks like a couple of teams now out there getting a little practice in. Temperatures right there at the river, 83 degrees. Feeling very comfortable for the first day of September. If you are heading out this evening, we're looking at gorgeous weather for those high school football games around kickoff. We should be in the mid-70s. We'll see a few of these just kind of high, thin-level clouds out there through game time, but temperatures should still be able to drop most likely to the 60s before we get to that fourth quarter. So nice and comfortable out there this evening. Take a look at our weekend outlook. Not too bad whatsoever. Both mornings this weekend, we should wake up near 60 degrees and potentially even seeing the 50s in a few spots early Sunday. Both afternoons will be in the 80s, 85 for a high Saturday. By Sunday, looks like those temperatures may just be a couple of ticks hotter, but still no complaints. Hanging on the low humidity through our holiday weekend and not really seeing that intense heat return until we get to next week. Here's a full look at our 7-day forecast. So once again, once we move past our Labor Day Monday, we do have those hot temps making a return. Low 90s Tuesday, mid 90s Wednesday, but overall not much rain in our forecast. So thankfully, after the intense rain from a couple days ago, we will get a nice dry period for the next 7 days.
Okay, that'll do it for now, but we have another news update coming at 7 o'clock over on NBC. Then we're back with Under the Lights coverage tonight at 11.